Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Casiejos, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
Amy. And I'm Lacey G.
And today we're breaking down the very first night. This is the 29th song on Red Taylor's version. Can you believe there's an album with that many songs? And it's still not the last song on the album.
Nope. Wow.
We still got one more after this, but right now, it's the very first night. So this song was written by Taylor Swift and a Norwegian songwriting group. They go under the name Espionage. Did you guys see their names? I'm not sure if I can pronounce them.
Yeah.
Bjorklund and Lind?
Okay.
I think that's
Bjorklund
right.
and Lind.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Good job.
love that name. The
Bjorklund?
Espionage.
Oh.
The Espionage.
Espionage.
It's just such a cool name.
Well, Lynn's first name is Espen. Espen Lind.
Oh, yeah.
And Amund
Bjorklund?
Bjorklund.
That's a guess.
Yes. I'm
didn't
not 100%
listen to any
sure.
interviews or anything.
No, me neither.
Yeah, Espionage has written for Beyonce. They worked on the song Irreplaceable, Chris Brown's With You, Train's Hey Soul Sister.
What? Some of my favorite songs?
I know.
Irreplaceable. That was a clip we just played there.
Guys, I have to say, I absolutely love this song. It's so bubblegum pop. It's so
Of course you
up-tempo.
love it.
It's so like, she's like singing about a happy time in a relationship the very first night when things were great, before
It is
things
right up
fell
your
apart.
alley.
And it's just like so fun. I can picture people listening to this and skipping. I just feel like it's really catchy and it's so upbeat and I just
Yeah.
love it. Doesn't this song put you in a good mood?
It
when you hear
does.
It's such a random thing, though. I
Skipping.
picture people skipping. Like
Yeah.
maybe going out on your first date and holding hands and like, do I kiss her first? What do
Uh-huh.
I do? But not skipping.
I'm going to say, I bet people have frolicked to this song before. I bet they have.
It's a bold statement you're making.
Yes.
I feel like I can picture it with really quick, like happy montage video edits of like the summer, you know, which would include people frolicking.
I must say, Nick, I did skip or frolic with my husband on our first date.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah. We were
What's
across
this?
the parking lot. We were picking up orange cones when we shouldn't have been.
Wait, what kind of date is this? What were you
And
doing?
where was this date,
Yeah,
Amy?
we're
Let's
at the
go full into it.
NASCAR races.
Okay, so were you trying to like park somewhere where you shouldn't have parked?
Yeah.
Did you keep any
Bad
of the
ideas.
cones?
No, we didn't.
Oh, you
No.
should have.
You know
moved
what?
them.
What he should do, he should give you flowers and an orange cone.
Oh.
He has sent me flowers or brought it to me. I had a friend bring it. Well, never mind. In a beer jug. That's the most random thing that he's brought him flowers in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I just
creative.
want a banjo playing in the background
Yeah.
right now.
I don't know why I'm talking about me. I'm done.
No, we love hearing.
Cones and beer jugs.
Yeah.
And moonshine.
That's the next vault track. Do you guys, so this song is so, like you said, bubblegum pop. And I love that it's the second to last song on the album. So this super upbeat, frolicky song. And then you go into All Too Well 10-minute version.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for years, we've been like, why? Like in the regular track list, when we have track 5, the regular All Too Well snack size version, it's so hard to go from All Too Well to 22.
Yeah.
And we were always like, oh my God, the shift in mood, it's like equally hard to go from the very first night to All Too Well 10-minute version, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Which I'm already preparing for next episode.
For next week?
Yes, I've been binging All Too Well 10-minute version because we are going to break that down again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is she singing about Jake in this song? Because she's talking about a relationship in the beginning before things went wrong. And there are some shared lyrics and correlations between these two songs. What do you guys think? Do you think it's about Jake or is it about another relationship?
I feel like there's a lot of, it's harder with the vault tracks because we don't have as much like interviews and details and things as we do with the regular tracks. We kind of just have to go off what we already know. But it's interesting because I feel like there's a lot of theories with this song.
Yes.
It could be about Jake. Other people said it's like the happy version of Come Back Be Here. Other people have connected it to lyrics in Out of the Woods. She had said at some point that some of the vault songs for Red, she wrote like a little bit too late and was going to maybe hold them for the next album, which this does have 1989 vibes and maybe just ended up not making the final cut. I don't know. I mean, the truth is we don't know the answer to any of these questions.
She hasn't done really any interviews about this song, so everything's just speculation for the most part. And so we've heard for a while that when she was recording Red the first time, she was only allowed to put 3 or so super pop songs on the album.
Right.
And she has so many, like you can tell by the vault tracks, she has so many that are not strictly country songs. So this appears to be one of those pop songs that just didn't make the cut.
Yeah, maybe. And then I also really like one of the theories floating around online was, you know how some of the vault songs ended up going to other artists, like Babe and Better Man? People feel like this would have been a really good song for her to give to or sell to One Direction.
Oh.
Because the song, quote from TikTok, somebody said, this song radiates 2012 energy. Because it kind of does. It does. If this song would have come out in 2012, it would have been the top of the charts.
You know who else could have sang this? Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yes. It also, yeah, she could have. And so people were thinking if she would have given this song to like One Direction, like, I feel like I can almost hear that. Like early One Direction days with like Liam singing the first part, Harry singing the bridge, or Zayn singing the whatever. Like you can I almost can perfectly hear it as a One Direction song.
Well, Louis would sing first.
Oh, Louis would sing first.
He would sing first.
Okay.
I'm glad you know that,
Did you guys catch any of his crazy interview with Logan Paul?
You mean Liam?
Liam would sing first. Sorry, I got my One Direction people mixed up.
How dare you?
Liam would sing first.
Liam
did you
would
sing
sing.
that? Or did you see that interview?
Oh, the interview? Yes.
So
Madness.
did you see the interview?
No.
Okay, so Liam was doing an interview with Logan Paul, and he was throwing a ton of shade at all the other One Direction guys. And he was
Yeah.
like, when we were on the X Factor, I would sing first because the other guys would get nervous to sing in front of 20 million people. But I've been doing it for so long that they would give me the first line.
Wow.
What?
That interview was
It was nuts.
Not so good for Liam's image, I feel like.
Louis, I did not mean to mix you up with Liam. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Anna, what's Zayn's last name?
Malik,
Good job.
right?
Yeah. Malik.
Okay, a little backstory here. Years ago, like what, 5-6 years ago, we were having a game night, and it was like we were playing like some sort of like pop culture game. I don't know. But Lacey's ex had said Zayn Malik. And we made fun of him for it because we're like, it's Malik. But we made fun of him so much that in my brain, I could never remember which one is right, if it's Malik or Malik.
Because we made fun of him for so long.
Yes, and I just, like, every single time I see his name, like, and I have to say it,
Yeah.
I kind of panic a little because I'm like, is
don't wanna
it
be that
Malik
guy.
or Malik? For some reason, I just, like, I cannot get it right. Thankfully, the name Zayn is unique enough that you could just say Zayn and almost everybody knows who you're talking about, right?
Yeah, we
So-
will.
But Anna's messed it up several
But-
times, and it makes me giggle every single time.
Yeah, and it's terrible because like when we're on the morning show, like we're live and I just say Zayn and hope everybody just knows who I'm talking about.
If you don't know Zayn, you probably don't know Zayn Malik anyways, right? Like,
Who are other famous Zanes?
Couldn't tell you.
Billy Zane.
Who?
Exactly. He's the bad guy in Titanic. He is. He's the guy that Rose is engaged to.
Okay, like if I type in Zayn into Google right now, just Zayn. Okay, hold on. It auto-corrected Zayn.
I mean, it could autocorrect you to Zendaya if you
It's
spell
still,
it wrong.
even if you do Zayn just by itself, the first thing that comes up is Zayn. It just says singer. I was about to say zinger.
I think he
Zayn.
does. I think he stylized it just Zane, all capital letters.
yes, I think so.
He's a one.
We've said it so many times
One name
now
guy.
that it doesn't.
Doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
It happens.
Check out our other One Direction fan podcast coming out soon, where it's all One Direction talk.
And where we mix up all the names.
Yes.
Y'all, my little sister, she's 13, and her friend came up to me at church, and she was like, oh my goodness, I love One Direction. Are they still together? And I'm like, girl, no.
What?
No.
They're not.
What? That was a
Yeah,
genuine
she
question?
didn't know that they weren't still together. Or I guess maybe she did if she's asking me, are they still together?
Hoping that they got back together.
I guess.
Well, another
Yeah.
thing that happened after Liam's interview with Logan Paul is I saw people online being like, you know what? Even though this was a terrible look for Liam, I want to genuinely thank him for getting rid of any hope I had for a One Direction reunion. Like now I can just rest,
He killed it.
you know? But it's almost like you find peace in that,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, Niall and Harry aren't going to get around Zayn or Liam anytime soon.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
Don't think so.
Okay, back to the very first night.
Got a little sidetrack.
Little
there.
sidetrack. That's okay.
Okay, so Anna mentioned theories about this song. So people think Jake Gyllenhaal because dance in the kitchen, chase me down the hallway, much like we're dancing around the kitchen in the refrigerator light. But a lot of people are pointing out the very obvious rhyme.
Yeah.
They don't know how much I miss you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how much I miss her.
Yeah, right when this song came out, this was like a huge debate. I saw it on social media a lot about the rhyme doesn't rhyme. Or like she's putting together words that don't rhyme. And when you're singing a song naturally, you would assume that they would rhyme, and it doesn't. And it is a little jarring when you're first listening to it.
Because it's supposed to rhyme with whispered and Polaroid picture.
Right.
So
And
whispered, her, picture, her. It just rhymes more than you.
You.
And I've seen a couple of different things. Like some people were speculating that maybe originally it was ya, like Miss Ya, which would still not
Miss
Miss Ya, which
Whisper.
still wouldn't be a perfect rhyme, but it rhymes a little bit more than you.
Uh-huh.
But
she is saying it
You.
She's making a very definitive you.
Well, that would help the theory that it was originally written for One Direction, and they'd be singing it to a
Hey,
girl.
that's true.
yeah,
That does go to that for
Yeah.
sure. But a lot of people are thinking, there's two sides to Taylor's sexuality and the Taylor Swift fandom. Some think it's her business. We don't need to speculate on it at all. Others think, well, she's putting all these Easter eggs in songs anyways. It's there for us to dissect if we want to. So, but yeah, it definitely came. A lot of people are like, oh, she's hiding her sexuality. Is she like teasing us? Is she playing with us? Is she playing coy? What's the deal?
She's definitely teasing us. I don't know if it's about this, but she's always messing with us.
For sure. For sure.
And out of fun.
So the most popular theory about this song is that it would be about Diana, right?
Right.
Are you guys pretty well versed with like the speculation about that relationship?
Probably at some point we might need to do a whole episode on that. But you can give us a
Well,
quick.
I thought you would have a quick.
Well, I don't off the top of my head. Yeah,
I think Amy has something on it.
Do you?
Yeah, they were in a friendship.
Yeah,
in
they
a
were a friendship,
relationship.
and a lot of people thought maybe they were a little bit more than friends. They were seen a lot together. There's a couple songs that Taylor has, especially in 1989, that a lot of people draw comparisons to their friendships and think maybe they were more than being friends. And people get really into the weeds about it, where they're breaking down her lyrics about the weather versus to the weekends they were together in LA at different times.
Didn't
So
she have a tattoo removed too?
yeah, so Taylor
After Wonderland?
Yes, Taylor, we all know, kind of has this Alice in Wonderland kind of
Underlying
She likes to have fun with
theme.
that. A lot of imagery. Diana is rumored to be obsessed with Alice in Wonderland, so much that she had a few Alice in Wonderland tattoos. After 1989 was released, she then got those tattoos removed because of the song Wonderland.
So if we are entering in Wonderland era, how much is Diana going to come up
I don't
during
know.
this?
I mean, but that's the question too, because if this has been a theme that Taylor's been hinting at since 1989, like, is it an era or is it just an underlying theme? I mean, there's so many theories, hard to say, but I don't know. However, I would like to point out, regardless of subject matter of the song, sexuality, anything like that, I feel like lyrically it has to be you because of Taylor's writing style. Taylor, as we've noticed, especially in our breakdowns, she likes to like use a line in a song at the very like beginning and then again at the very end, and it kind of is like a full circle moment in her storytelling. And so with this song, if she said her, the full circle moment wouldn't work, because at the beginning of the song she says they don't know about the night at the hotel, and then in the bridge is I remember the night at the hotel, and then at the beginning it's they weren't riding in the car when we both fell, and then in the bridge is I was riding in the car when we both fell, and then in the beginning no one knows about the words that we whispered, and then in the bridge I'm the one on the phone as you whispered, and then at the beginning they don't know how much I miss you, and then in the bridge do you know how much I miss you? So when you put it together, it's I remember the night at the hotel. I was riding in the car when we both fell. I'm the one on the phone as you whispered, do you know how much I miss you? So that bridge, lyrically, story-wise, wouldn't work because you wouldn't be on the phone with the person you're talking to saying, do you know how much I miss her? You know what I mean?
She's like, it's her first point of view. You know, a lot of songs, I would guess they're writing kind of like in third person, stepping back, looking at the situation, the relationship, and that's how we're writing. But this one, it's like she's having a conversation with the person. So when you're having a conversation with the person, she's saying, I miss you.
Yeah, so it's like the whole like point of view, like you said, but that bridge where those 4 lines basically tied together and she changes one word from the other verses, like the fabulous storytelling wouldn't work if it was her. And I know that so many people are just like, but it's supposed to be her, well, because it rhymes. Sure. But then it wouldn't work, like when you look at it as as a whole.
Sure.
So who is this about? I don't know, but it wouldn't work if it was her.
Totally.
That's really
That's
interesting.
just kind of how I feel about it. And because of this, when I was like looking, because sometimes, and I think it is because of this podcast, but when we look at a song, I kind of look at the lyrics and I try to like read it like as a poem almost instead of as a song. And it just kind of, a lot of times it just makes more sense that way. And so I went ahead and I pointed out other times that Taylor uses the same lyric to start and end the story. There's so many, especially in her earlier work. So in Love Story, we were both young when I first saw you. That's the first and the beginning. Tim McGraw has the first lines. He said, the way that my blue eyes shine, put the Georgia's stars to shame that night. I said, that's a lie. Our song, 15, Come In With the Rain, Haunted, Red, I Almost Do. She has so many other songs where we've seen this style of writing that it's almost, like I love when we do that. And every time we come across a song that she does that, we point it out. And so I thought it was important to point out.
So this is just kind of the way that she writes.
I hope that made sense. I feel like it just kind of was a little all over. I don't know why I'm like shaking a little.
Well, you can't get our queen's words twisted.
Right.
There's a lot of pressure here.
I know.
There's a lot of people listening to this.
I know.
So someone on Reddit, the Lover Cat, said this is their favorite vault track from Red. Lyrically, it's not as good as the other ones, but the melody, the guitar and the drums, the 2010 feels, also the countless 1989 references. And they said, I wonder what's in 1989's vault. I apologize for the person I'll become once they're out. And that just had Anna written all over it.
It was me that wrote that, actually.
It's so true. And there's rumors that she has the most vault songs for 1989.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we got 10 with this album. Like, are we going to get like 15?
Yeah.
20?
You know what I think? Because we always talk about, oh my gosh, which album is going to be next? And we like have all of these different clues and stuff about, oh, maybe 1989 is next or maybe Speak Now is next. The more I think about it, the more I feel like 1989 is just like guaranteed success that she almost has to put that out not next. You know what I mean? Like if she puts that out next and we have this like unbelievable vault pop sensation, both fan and critically acclaimed. I mean, 1989 already won Album of the Year the first time. So it's like, not that her other albums aren't as good, but it's like 1989 has the most hype that I almost feel like it's like her ace. You know, she's like waiting to play it.
She needs to wait until the end, right? Like we don't want her to end with Debut because it doesn't have the hype, does it? In my opinion.
Right.
Yeah,
But
1989 would probably be a bigger light to go out on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But also, you know, we got to also think about this is like a money thing too. She's making a lot of money. So the longer she doesn't put out her most successful album, 1989, the more money she's losing.
Right. But then also the more anticipation is building.
The more anticipation. It's not like she's doing it just for the money.
No.
But all of this is a business decision on top of doing it for a point.
Right.
You know? And then people are always like, well, she needs to do Debut last so that then she can own her own name.
I love
that's
that.
the button at the end. The nice bow.
Yeah, like a very, just like a final.
And that's a cool statement too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like even though we just got a 1989 merch drop not too long ago, I still don't feel like it would be next. But I'm also a Speak Now truther, so
I
I'm
really
hoping
appreciate every single week that we're on a group text and it's like, okay, well, what are we recording? And every single week, Anna says, Speak Now.
Announcement.
Speak
And you
Now
know what?
announcement.
You know what? 1 week I'll be right. If I just keep it 1 week, it'll be right. We will be recording that Speak Now is announced.
Fruit Loops on Reddit said, why is no one talking about how funny the line, I wish I could fly, I'd pick you up and we'd go back in time sounds. Every time it plays, I imagine a flying Taylor literally picking up a person and whooshing through the sky. Send help. And someone else said they just imagine her on a magic carpet grabbing her lover and zooming away giddy. They didn't say skipping, but that would have been cool if they would have said skipping.
That would be.
But yeah, saying it gives them like Aladdin feels.
See, I think of Forrest Gump whenever they're in the field and she's like, far away. Far away from here, or whatever. It makes me think of that every time.
Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far away.
A few comments from social media that I saw that I thought it would be fun to share. Someone said, I lose my mind thinking about the fact that we would have never gotten this song if she wasn't doing the re-releases.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's so true. Like, all of these bops we would just never hear if she wasn't doing it. And that's heartbreaking.
Can you imagine a world now without I Bet You Think About Me?
No.
Can you imagine a world without All Too Well 10-minute version?
No. No.
It's scary to think about.
No. And you know what's so great? We get a couple of DMs sometimes at the 13 podcast from people that either just discovered our podcast for the first time or they're going back and listening to old episodes before we got the announcement of Rad Taylor's version and the 10-minute version, and hearing us talk about like, oh my gosh, I feel like All Too Well, like a music video would be incredible. Or like, oh, I wonder if we'll ever get the 10-minute version, like things like that, but knowing what we know now, but hearing us talk about it from
when we didn't know.
We got some messages like that, and it always makes me so happy.
I was thinking about that today because I started re-binging 10-minute version All Too Well just to prepare for our next episode. And I'm thinking, how do you perfect a song that's already perfect? That was already a fan favorite song. And then she just blessed us with more.
Yeah.
And the short film and just everything that goes with it. And I cannot wait to talk about this more next week.
Me too. Also, somebody on social media said, this song is just proof that Red was a product of a scared record label and that she was ready to release pop music before she was allowed to, which is something we've talked about before.
Good point,
about
yeah.
how she was only allowed a certain amount of pop songs on Red because they wanted it to be a country album. And then, yeah, the one from earlier, this song radiates 2012 energy. I just thought that was a really funny comment. So when you guys sing the song, though, like if whenever we go to Taylor Swift night, which is coming up in July, whenever we go and this song plays, are you guys going to scream her or you?
You.
I guess you, but I see so many videos on social media, especially when the song first came out at like, Taylor Swift bar nights and stuff, of people screaming her.
Right.
Like the whole room is screaming her.
Yeah.
And there's like a viral sound on TikTok where someone edited another clip of Taylor saying her into
to make it sound
like it's saying picture and her. I think I should say you. That's what Taylor wants us to sing.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah, same.
This is a very fun song to just scream in the car, though. I can't wait to sing it with a room full of Swifties.
But you can't skip in a car. And that's really hard to listen to the song in a car. You can't skip.
So even though this song is a song to skip to, it's not a song to skip.
No, you don't
Just to
skip
be
the
clear.
song.
Just
You don't
to be
skip
clear.
the song, but you have to skip
I
while
was so
listening.
confused when you started that sentence.
You can't skip.
It makes sense now.
Yeah, you can't skip in your car. All right, well, that does it for this episode of 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to subscribe to us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us on right now. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast and join us next time. We're going to be breaking down All Too Well 10-minute version.
Again.
Thanks for listening to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.